In today's tier list video, we are looking at the top 3 Necron fast attack units from the Necron Codex, and it's coming right up.
Necrons!
Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. Right, continuing on with my little mini series of videos where we're going to have a look at some of the Necron units to find out which are the best, the top 3. And today we're looking at fast attack. We have 5 fast attack choices: Triarch Praetorians, Tomb Blades, Ophidian Destroyers, Canoptic Wraiths, and Canoptic Scarab Swarms. And yes, I am going to rule out straight away Triarch Praetorians. Now, these are not unusable, these guys, because they do have a 10-inch movement, they are fly, they are now core, they have some abilities which are workable. However, they're definitely not the best in the fast attack choices. They're the bottom of the list, so they are ruled out. So that leaves us with 4 units and only 3 slots for the top 3. So in third place, and I have to say this is probably the hardest one of the selection, it's going to be either Ophidian Destroyers or Tomb Blades in third place. Now it does depend on, well, your list and how you want to use this unit, because they would be very different units. Obviously the Ophidian Destroyers are pretty fragile, but at the moment, with their weapon AP and the fact that they can deep strike in and do a few shenanigans, they could be pretty useful, especially for getting secondary objectives. Now the Tomb Blades, of course, have good guns. I mean, if you need more guns in your army, Tomb Blades could be a potential choice. Only 2 wounds on these, as opposed to 3 on the Destroyers, but it's still doable because if you have a big enough unit, you get a reasonable chance to do your RPs, because you only need to do 2 successful dice rolls to get 1 model back. You can have a 3+ save upgrade, I'd recommend that. You can have a 5+ invulnerable save, I'd recommend that on at least a few of the models in the unit. Gun wise, well, the guns are actually all pretty good. Personally, I am preferring the Gauss because of the range, and you get a good amount of shots when you are in rapid fire range. So it is a hard choice between these 2 units. I do believe, however, that Tomb Blades have the edge over Ophidian Destroyers, so I'm going to put them in third place. So in second place, I am putting the Canoptic Scarab Swarm, an awesome unit in their own right and very versatile. You can take a small unit of 3, just put them on an objective behind a piece of terrain. Excellent. You could take a bigger unit and just go to a central objective and just hunker in there on the objective. Or you could go all out and just assault with these guys. There's a good amount of wounds, they have a good amount of attacks. They're not going to set the world on fire and kill loads of stuff, and indeed they're not going to survive the whole of the game. You could even buff them with a 5+ invulnerable save from a Chronomancer. However, not necessarily the best use of a Chronomancer. Scarabs are also good for putting at the front of the army to soak up the mortal wounds which are coming in, and let's face it, everyone has mortal wounds these days. And of course you've got the traditional bubble wrap. This is where you put a big unit of Scarabs in front of a more valuable unit, let's say some Locust Destroyers, and they are there to help protect your Locust Destroyers from an assault. All in all, Scarabs, a great choice. However, I am going to put the Canoptic Wraiths as the number 1 unit from the fast attack choice. These guys have speed and they have a 4+ invulnerable save. They have survivability, of course, with RP. And if you stick a Technomancer with them as well to bring them back up, really, really good. Now, they do only have a 4+ weapon skill. However, if you do My Will Be Done on these guys, and that can compensate for it. They have a good amount of attacks. They've got the -2 AP and 2 damage with their claws, or potentially you could use the whip coils. Lots more of attacks. They are less in strength. You could use the stratagem +1 to strength if you wish, and obviously those are only 1 damage. However, an option for sure. Now the great thing about Wraiths is, even though they have the core keyword now allowing you to give them My Will Be Done, which is very useful, especially if you have the Silent King around in the Novok list, However, they can work by themselves, so they can go solo. You can either flank them or you can just push them down the centre of the board, give your opponent some issues right at the beginning of the game. They can work by themselves, but also now with the new rules, with the core updated rules, they also work with the rest of the army as well. Really useful unit. You can't really go wrong with wraiths. They're not going to entirely annihilate a unit when you get into close combat, but they certainly can put on some hurt. And of course, these guys can fall back and also re-assault. That's great for doing a slingshot move, allowing you to be in an assault, but also then, in your turn, just move to the other side of the table, maybe grab an objective, get into a different position, assault a different unit. Really nice. They do have gun options as well. Personally, I don't put guns on them because I'm always scrambling for points in other areas when I'm building my list, so I tend not to go for guns. However, would you rate wraiths as the #1 choice in the fast attack slot? Let me know your thoughts in the comments box below. Now here is the playlist with the other videos which I've made in this series. Go and check them out, and I'll see you in the next one.